in carrying forth a clear responsibility for our galactic fleet with who I am as your commander Ashtar, of who we are of the angelic realms, of the Galactic Council, of the Galactic Federation of Light remains in much service. To feel that you are able to see this service from looking in your outer surroundings only, then you are going to notice that this is not the service that is being talked about. Sure, there are many individuals who are going to try and define service, to try and conceptualize this, instead of noticing that this comes with extraterrestrial downloads. As each of you as the 144,000 light beings, these transmissions are written freshly daily for each of you to notice that you are here to continue to rise your ascended dimensions. It is not through memorizing some words that you are able to ascend. It is not about trying to see the climbing into your own reality in higher cosmic realms in a short time. Similarly to listening to some music, similar to listening to some words of a foreign language to you, and then feeling that you are able to already create exactly what you are listening to with clarity. It takes many artists many years to come into professionalism, in which this is not about trying to shortcut the process of your ascension process, which is absolutely important to realize more. The lower ego self is disrespectful, simply put, and you notice the more you awaken beyond that, the more you are aware of how it works, which often says, I know already. I am already ready to ascend. I created light work for over a year now. I deserve to be taken on your starships. This is not about trying to see only in physicality, meaning to realize that respectfulness comes in seeing that there exists no time in our galactic communities. Meaning whether you create light work for 50 years or 5 years, still the service remains as is. As in rising more vibrations, each of you are here to dedicate your lives to ascension in order to be at the leadership roles of being ascended masters more, not in stopping, but in continuous service. This often comes in then noticing that as you are then accepting your roles more, then you are each working more on yourselves in fullness, in the realizing of not focusing solely on the levels of separation. The immediate feeling of unity comes with a mature level of being responsible enough to notice that non-stop judgments, that non-stop violence, that non-stop disrespect is not of a higher frequency. It is easy for the lower ego self to say, everyone is mostly good. I mean, everyone fights. No one really wants to, unless you are in that profession. Just live with it, it's normal. The insanity of the lower ego self tries to normalize the insane, in which if who we are of the Galactic Federation of Light, of your angelic guardians were about fighting, we would have destroyed your global military already. With seeing that this is about peacefulness and a harmonious existence, then there are no levels of destruction allowed to ascend more into a natural unification and bliss. Bliss and war are not existing together in peacefulness, in which you see that in order to enter our blissful realms, then that ends the war realities completely, all from inside of you. Fighting is a form of war, in which you notice that to end the age of terror on your planet is to end the reign of the lower dimensions, for a leap in evolution for higher dimensions. This is then not a process of waiting to see when the fighting is going to end, from analysis, often reading the news, as the lower ego self says, I don't think there will ever be an end to fighting. People need to fight to survive. Don't you get that? Still the lower ego self remains in a limited reality of suffering, of chaos, and confusion, instead of peacefulness, presence, and a higher gateway of purity and harmonization. It then becomes important to notice that with the inception of more elevated states in your conscious awareness then allows for a natural expression in choosing to connect more to the frequency of calmness within. The level of intelligence inside of you increases as the more calm you are becoming, the more you are able to live in a harmonious existence, while being sober, which is extremely important to be more sharp in your own life. If our star beings were not sober, we would fail our missions to quarantine this sector of space in service, similar to being on a job intoxicated, as that is not allowed by many human jobs on your world. A similar reality exists daily, in then seeing that every day you are on this world as the volunteers of waves of ascended masters, you are on a job, and your responsibility is to be prepared daily more. Similarly, the way your world government military are prepared to go to war and end every day, and to continue to go on war missions, this seriousness needs to be placed in service. Not in service that is going to harm another, while service that is realizing that through your own internal changes within then allows you to climb more of the ascension ladder. It takes a clear level of focus and clarity to notice that the cabal have not been removed fully, that the world leaders that are operating under war tactics are not here for the well-being of humanity. If your world leaders were here for the well-being of all, then they would certainly not hide who we are of the angelic realms, of the Galactic Federation of Light from the mainstream public. It then becomes an awakening into then seeing that each of you that are here to bring through more of a respectfulness on this planet, including more awareness of how our galactic fleet works, then ends all levels of deception. The time always remains now. There is no moment outside of now, in which the more each of you are awakening, then all of the lower ego self-questions goes away, in asking, when is ascension going to happen? When is this going to happen? All that is going to happen, and is going to happen, exists now, in then seeing that with an increased level of openness and seeing the power that comes with ascension then brings forth a more guided path in awakening. It is not about how many humans are going to use the lower ego self for belief, as that is not how this works at all. No, as you are not seeing a lot of humans saying with the lower ego self, do you believe humans exist? It then becomes clear that it is not about belief that our galactic communities exist. It is then about seeing the openness and simply spreading more of your ethereal wings into cosmic realms in grace. This graceful experience then allows for a stronger level of vibrancy and pure energy to exist through your deepening of more DNA activation. We stand in higher realities. We are the angelic realms. We are the Galactic Federation of Light.